Welcome into another episode of Profits Picks. Maybe the last episode until next year. Game 5 of the NBA Finals. We'll take a look at the side. We'll take a look at the total. We'll take a look at some player props as well. Try to make as much money as we can on this game here while we have it. And this game lined open Lakers -7.5. Currently seeing -7. Total opening 217, and it's gone down. We're seeing movement is gone all the way down to 214 and a half. And I'll talk about the side first. I think, in my opinion, if you like Miami in this game, you have to like them early. If not for anything else, for the simple fact that if Lakers are up big in the second half, or if Lakers get a sizable lead, Miami could just fold. I mean, we see that time and time again in elimination games. Teams get down big and just fold. I don't take Miami to be that kind of team, but it happens to the best of them. I do think they show up in this game, though. And that's why I think if you like them, you have to take them early, maybe a first quarter or first half. First half is sitting at 4.5. If I'm playing the first half, I'll probably look more towards grabbing those points with Miami. And if we're going to go to the full game, like I said, Lakers could pull away at any moment. I know for a fact, there's no question tonight if the Lakers will be focused. We know Miami's going to bring everything they can, as much as they can. Both of these teams have seen everything each other can throw at them. I don't think we see very many changes. At this point, it kind of is what it is, and whoever executes the best is going to win the game. And I think the Lakers have it easier as far as offensively than Miami. Miami has to work a little bit harder to get their points. And the Lakers, I mean, they made a change for a reason. They're wearing those Mamba jerseys for a reason. They've only lost one game with them on. That's the first game after Kobe passed. And ever since then, they haven't lost. It's like it's must win. It's imperative that the Lakers win when they have these jerseys on, especially in a spotlight game like this with everybody watching. There will be so much hell thrown the Lakers' way if they lose this game with the Mamba jerseys on. And you can call it like public or whatever, but I wouldn't say that for every team. But Lakers for sure have a different mentality when they wear these jerseys. And so we'll look at the Lakers on the full game, minus the 7 points. That's the way I look in this one. And usually, when you like the Lakers, it correlates with the under, and that's the way the line is moving. Um, it opened what 217. We're now seeing 214.5, and I agree. I mean, everything's on the table. We won't really see too many more changes. Both teams are great defensive teams, and I think that showed up in the last game. They shot 47 free throws last game. I mean, how many more are we asking for? And they didn't even get to 200 points combined. So we're seeing a different type of game. It's not so much up and down, a little bit slower pace, and both teams are playing defense. I think the Lakers made a good change, putting Anthony Davis on Jimmy Butler, him asking to guard Jimmy Butler. Just different little things they've done, different things Miami has done or tried to throw the Lakers' way. I just think it's that type of game. And in elimination games, like I said, you can see Miami fold. And if that was the case, it's probably less points. And also, you look at both of these teams, they're coming off a game where both of them shot less than 45% from the field. And prior to that, Miami, I mean, they were having historic shooting percentages or shooting games, posting numbers that teams have only done maybe like 3 times in NBA Finals. So, and they did it almost back to back. So I'm not expecting. They came out the last game was lower scoring. I think we see more of that here today. And Lakers, the only thing that bothers me is if the Lakers are up by so much, maybe they don't care about defense anymore. But I do think from the start we see the defensive intensity. So that's the way that I'm looking there. And I'll read this off really quick. Just looking at teams in the playoffs in Game 5 with a total between 210 and 220. And both teams shot less than 45% from the field in their previous game. The under is 9-0. Average total was 215. and it went under by 12 points per game. So that's the way I'm looking there. And now if you're one of those people who likes the over, think maybe you got a little bit of value now that the number has dropped. I understand. I mean, I understand that way of thinking. If I like the over though, I have to go more first half. Both of these teams have had success reaching this first half number. What is it, 110.5? They've had very good success, and the second half is tend to slow down. So if you like the over, I think you just take it for the first half of the game. Myself, I probably lean more towards the under. And if we have to look at some player props here, let's take a look. First of all, I'll mention this one. It wasn't that high on my list earlier in the day, but the more I think about it, I like it. But Crowder, his point total is at 12.5. He hasn't scored more than 12 points all series. And I'm expecting points to be at a premium here in this game. I don't think he's a big part of their offensive game plan. And I'm not expecting him to score more than 12 in game 5 after he hasn't done it 4 games in a row. So I like the Crowder under the 12.5 points. Next guy I would look at, it would have to be, I like Jimmy Butler for one. First of all, let me talk about Jimmy Butler next. I'll go to Bam Adebayo. I'll look for him to get some rebounds in this game. I'm expecting a lot of misses, a lot of missed shots. That means there's a lot of rebounds to be had. And he didn't have a very big rebounding game last game, but I think he bounces back here. 9.5. I think that's very doable for him. So we'll rock with that. And while we're on the subject of rebounds, I mean, I like Butler's rebounds as well. He was on triple-double watch. He's probably going to help rebound by committee. So 7.5 rebounds is not too much to ask. Probably my favorite one, or one of my favorites, is the Butler assist over 7.5. If Anthony Davis is guarding him, I mean, we saw Butler attempt less shots. I mean, if you have a guy 6'11" draped all over you, it's kind of tough to get the looks you're usually accustomed to having. And as a result, a mixture of that and lack of Dragic. I mean, Dragic is their playmaker. He's the guy who gets everybody involved. And Butler has had to shoulder that load a little bit. He's averaged, I want to say, 11 or 12 assists per game in this series. His assist total is at 7.5. I like that one a lot to go over. I think it's the same kind of game plan from the Lakers. You don't want to let Butler have another 40-point night. That's the only game the Heat won. So you put Anthony Davis on him. You do what you have to do to lock him down. And he's going to have to dish it off to others. And hopefully they can cash in for him. Lastly, the one I'm looking at as far as props, it's going to be, I mean, it correlates to what I just said, or I just talked about it a little bit. But Butler points under 24.5. I just think it's tough. If they have that matchup for him with Anthony Davis, it's tough for anybody to score on Anthony Davis. But he's giving up about 5 inches or so, 4 or 5 inches, whatever the case may be. And it makes a world of a difference. Anthony Davis is my defensive player of the year. He should have won, in my opinion. And I would expect him to do another good job defensively. Even when he's not a big part of the offense, you have to look at the job he's doing defensively, and I applaud him for that. So that's the way I'm looking at the props. I'll do a quick recap. In this game, I'll be looking at the Lakers minus the 7 points. I know the total's been dropping. I probably still would like it under that 214.5. I just think 2 top defensive teams, and they figured out how they're going to play each other. It would be a grittier game. So I like that under. And the player props we're rolling with, Crowder under 12.5 points. Bam over 9.5 rebounds. Butler over 7.5 assists. Butler under 24.5 points. Butler over 7.5 rebounds. Thank you guys for rocking with me on another episode of Profits Picks. It's been great doing this show this season. Looking forward to continuing again next season. We don't have a definite date of when the season will start yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, what they said, late December or early January, hopefully it's one of those dates, and we can get back to winning some money. So good luck on all of your action, and best of luck if you tell.